I'm John Kovach. I've been a newsman, a sports announcer, and a football coach, but the one constant, since I was old enough to stand next to a stream with my dad, has been fishing. I've waded rapids, stood on slick rocks, hacked through ice, and been tossed about the deck of a boat. And I want you to love fishing as much as I do, and join me on this journey. Welcome to Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop. We're catching up with Peter Aarrestad of the Fisheries Division of the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection here in Connecticut. Peter, thanks for spending some time with us to talk about these new regulations. Let's start with the one that generated probably the most comments on social media, that being the trout stamp. Came into, well, trout and salmon stamp, it's officially being called, but as opposed to the original proposal of $5, $10, and a $12 combined, it's one stamp, correct, both fish, one $5 fee.
That's right. We actually responded to the public comment that we received in written testimony and decided to combine the two for a reduced fee. So it reduces some complexity, some difficulty in interpreting the regulation, and it keeps the cost down. Because by law, I think a salmon stamp could be as high as $28, a trout stamp could be as high as $10. So this is where we decided to start. And in Connecticut, anyone harvesting, catching and keeping a trout or salmon would need the stamp. Again, it's $5 for the year. It's $3 for 16 and 17-year-olds. Because the fees for those folks are half price. In essence, every license or stamp of a 16 or 17-year-old is half the normal price. That's how we get the $3 from the $5. Anyone fishing in certain waters would also be required to use the stamp, and those are special management waters. And this has to do whether it's catch and release fishing or harvest fishing. It doesn't really matter. And those are trout management areas, wild trout management areas, our trout parks, and then the designated salmon broodstock areas. And again, catch and release fishing there, any kind of fishing, you would need the stamp.
You don't need it if you're out bass fishing, catfishing, you inadvertently catch a trout, you throw it back, you're in the clear.
Absolutely. In essence, the intent is to help pay for our hatchery program, or at least help augment some of the funding. So if you're catching trout or fishing in the special management areas, including wild trout management areas, because of the work we're doing there.
One of the big concerns expressed when the trout stamp was proposed is that the money would go to the general fund and it was just using fishermen to pay essentially another tax. Yeah. By law, the $5 that you pay for a trout stamp, $3 if you're 16 or 17, has to go to support fisheries, correct?
It does. It has to go to the Bureau of Natural Resources, which we're a part of. It's Connecticut General Statute 26-15, subsection A and B. It's pretty clear the money has to come back to us. So any fishing license fees or permit fees from the new trout stamp will come back to our programs. I think folks know for several years there were efforts to close a state fish hatchery, and we only have 3 of them, and they all serve certain specific needs, and it would be really devastating to trout fishing in Connecticut if that were to ever happen. And we know we're in tough, difficult financial times right now. We started to look into this, realized that about half of the Northeast states have some type of a trout or salmon stamp if they have salmon waters. And we thought that might be something to look into if it would help us gain a little bit of financial stability. We believe that trout anglers are willing to support this. We've certainly had some complaints, I understand that. Because it's an additional $5. But when you look at the cost of doing a whole lot of things, we think it's a pretty good bargain. And most of our folks we talk to agree, and they're willing to support it.
And that extra revenue could help protect those hatcheries which have been threatened over and over again in the budget
absolutely.
cycle.
That has been our plan right along. It's not going to fully fund what we need to do by any stretch of the imagination, but it'll add a little bit more stability. I know folks I've seen Facebook posts and other things where people are thinking we can automatically start growing and stocking bigger fish like this year because we have a stamp now. The reality is that our catchable size trout are 15 to 18 months old, so we're actually looking out a couple more years before we could make changes if in fact we're able to do that. We're trying to get caught up on some infrastructure maintenance at Quinnebog Hatchery in particular, and that's our biggest producer of fish statewide. So as a result of those efforts, we're not going to be able to ramp up trout production anytime soon, but we'll be able to maintain what we have currently. And looking forward down the road, we'll be able to ramp things up. Our staffing levels are well below what they had been in the past, and as a result, that's some of the reasons why, you know, maintenance has been lagging. So I know folks think they're going to see an immediate bump in the services and quality or numbers of fish being made available. We would like to do that, and we're going to certainly make improvements as best we can, but I want to be honest and realistic with folks as well.
So there's been a couple of changes. The big one for those of us in southwestern Connecticut is the expansion of the wild trout management area on the Mill River in Easton and Fairfield.
Yep, that's been in the works for several years. In essence, we're going to extend the wild trout management area downstream through the section that ends along Congress Street, and that wild trout management area will now extend to the bridge under the Merritt Parkway. From that portion downstream, which was formerly a seasonal trout management area, that will now become a year-round trout management area. So those are the changes. We vetted this and talked to a lot of folks, and it's got, you know, widespread support. That's the Mill River, like the Farmington River, is one of the two very strong classic tailwater fisheries in our state, where you're getting cold water being released from an impoundment. So the water there is suitable. Actually, the brook trout population, the wild brook trout population, is doing really, really well there. We are seeing over time more and more wild brook trout. It also supports wild brown trout.
For the catch and take fishermen, what are those changes in the TMA along the Mill River going to mean?
Right, so we actually have stopped stocking that with the traditional large numbers of fish for opening day a couple of years ago. And, you know, we've tried to educate folks that the area is likely to change. It's in essence going to mean that there won't be, it's not a harvest-oriented fishery anymore. There is water downstream on the Mill River that is open to the public, and we had stocked before. We'll continue to stock that and probably stock it with more fish. And
that would be down to Brookside Road area down below the Sant Mortar Dam.
That would be one of them, sure. So, you know, we put our trout stocking maps on our website. We have a lot of other information on where fish are stocked. There's a sort of a live version. You can go in any day, and it'll give you waters that nearby when they were last stocked. So that's a new tool that was developed last year, and folks are starting to find that a useful product. The only other change is in the area of the West Branch Farmington River in the village, in and around the village of Riverton. That's part of the town of Barkhamsted. There's a 1.4 mile section of the river starting upstream of Riverton, where Hogback Road diverts off of Route 20, extending down past where the Still River dumps in to the gas pipeline. And this is an area where we are establishing a very short close season. In essence, from April 1 annually until 6 a.m. on opening day. And, folks, of course, asked why we did that. It wasn't that long ago. We extended the trout management areas on the Farmington River upstream and downstream. But the folks in the village of Riverton, who historically supported a very popular opening day derby, approached us and said, fishing's not what it used to be. And in part, even though people are releasing fish, there's heavy pressure and fish are being released, so the fishing on opening day has not been that good because people could just fish right up until 6 a.m. and release the fish. So I know they're going to try to, redouble our efforts to, really enhance the derby, maybe try to bring it back to the glory days of before. So we're doing our small part to help that effort. And just not just the derby, but the opening day atmosphere on that very isolated part of the river.
We'll be back with more Yankee Fisherman presented by the Dock Shop right after this. Well, there's still a bite out on the water. Most anglers have decided to stow the gear for the winter. Just because Mother Nature isn't cooperating doesn't mean you can't see the latest models of all your favorite gear. With 2 convenient locations, it couldn't be easier to get your fix of summer. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Get a fresh start to the new year by shaking up your meal routine. Walter Stewart's Market is your local source for a delicious selection of fresh and convenient salad shakers, like Southwest salad with chicken, Cobb with organic chicken, Power Vegan with fruit and quinoa, Greek salad with tabbouleh, and grilled shrimp with hominy. Grab one from our salad case or order from our deli today. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, New Canaan, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
At Pamby Motors, we're not worried about being the biggest dealership. We're focused on being the best. We're dedicated to giving you the best experience we can. The Pamby Motors team is here to help you choose the right Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram in a friendly, pressure-free environment. And right now, during Ram Truck Month, get up to $14,000 off on all in-stock 2017 Ram 1500 pickups. Come in and see us for details. Visit Pamby Motors, Route 7 in Ridgefield, PambyZone.com.
At Galt, we always put you first. As your full-service home heating partner, we provide expert delivery, installation, and maintenance for all your heating needs with knowledgeable, friendly professionals that give you peace of mind 24/7. Galt Family Companies, you first since 1863.
Had a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Orthopedics Walk-In Urgent Care gives you direct access to orthopedic specialists fast without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Orthopedics Walk-In Urgent Care can help. Open 7 days a week now at 3 locations. The iPark Building at 761 Main Avenue, Norwalk, 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien, or in the Westport Medical Center at 323 Riverside Avenue, Westport. Go to myorthoct.com, like them on Facebook.
Welcome back to Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop. We're at Not Norms in East Norwalk, Connecticut. Talking with Jason Coleman from Salty Sea Tea, also based in Norwalk. Jason's organized Fishing the Salt, a seminar coming up on March 31st. It's got some captains, people in the know, people who have been on Yankee Fisherman. They're going to talk about local knowledge that you can use. It's going to be fishing information that you can use from New York City to the Norwalk Islands up to Cape Cod. All different styles of fishing. Food will be here at Not Norms.
And a raffle.
Raffles. All kinds of stuff going on. Jason, first off, tell us about Salty Sea Tea. You're making nautical themed merchandise?
Yes, John, thanks. So Salty Sea Tea was created a year ago, basically this week. It coincided actually with the birth of our son. So being a fisherman since I've been old enough to hold a rod, fishing for fun down in Galveston, and then moving to Michigan and fishing the Great Lakes, and now being on the East Coast, it just hit me that I need to do something that preserves the resource. And what better way than to create some apparel with the story behind it. And the story is really every purchase of a shirt, a proceed goes back to Save the Sound. So there's a purpose behind the t-shirts. They just don't look cool. They're actually contributing back to Save the Sound.
And Save the Sound, also the beneficiary of the March
right.
31st event.
That's right. So this is really about bringing guys together that like to fish, some local expertise as you mentioned, and then ticket prices or ticket sales proceeds go to Save the Sound. So again, trying to like give back, do something to just preserve the resource, knowing that I have a son who's 6 months old now. One day I want to take him fishing and be able to catch as many striped bass as we are today, or maybe even more.
Tickets are $25. They're available at saltyct.com. We'll have the link up on our website. Tell us about some of the speakers that you've got lined up for March 31st.
Sure. So I'm really fortunate to have two local captains from the Norwalk Islands, born and raised here. Captain Ian Devlin is, I call him the mad scientist. As early as June, I'll see him going down to the Western Sound. 2 years ago, I think it was, he pulled probably 45-pound, 50-pound bass off of the migratory fish. He's a true steward of the Sound, so he's all catch and release. In the summer, you'll find him out in the middle of 120 feet, chasing bluefish, fitting on top. And then in the fall, he gets into Albie mode, and I don't need to say anything else, but it's like lock and load. Captain Mike Platt also will be here, born and raised Norwalk guy, runs a really nice 23-foot Parker, and I call him sort of the captain. He's like a crazy pirate, or Blackbeard, I guess is the word I'm looking for. He's out there, rain, snow, wind, chasing striped bass. So he's going to talk a little about his strategies. And then, as you mentioned earlier, I have Anvil Lures, so Joshua coming up from Brooklyn, New York, does hand port swim baits. I fished them last year and did fantastic. They actually outfished some of the other swim baits that I use. And then we have Nick Santalucia from Coastbusters, fantastic fly tire, has done a lot of guiding, short base guiding, and surf casting on the fly rod for striped bass.
And that's the beauty of this, is it's not just one style. It's not just surf guys, it's not just fly guys, it's not just coast guys, it's not just boat guys. Everybody's going to be here, and I think everybody can take something from another style of fishing.
We hope so, John. Like, it's really been about guys coming together and girls who like to fish, having some amazing appetizers provided by Not Norms. His seafood comes off the boats that are a 2-minute walk around the corner, so I hope that people will enjoy that. And we also have a raffle, so Howard Films has been gracious enough to donate a couple of their DVDs from Running the Coast. Amazing movie, if you haven't seen it. We're going to preview that here. And then we have a bunch of custom plugs from local purveyors. Again, consistent with the Salty CT brand, I want to promote Made in America or USA Made. All of our shirts, just like the plugs and a lot of other things, are all locally made.
You said your hat's made in Seymour?
Connecticut. Yeah, so this is an example of one of our hats. It's the Kikini Island striper hat. It comes in navy and also I call it Nantucket red. But yeah, these are designed in Connecticut, also made in Connecticut. Same with our trucker caps as well.
Now, so were you involved in designing apparel before, and this was an extension, or it was just kind of was to be a cool way to raise money for the Long Island Sound?
Yeah, great question. So it was really, I'm an avid fisherman. I buy gear. I'm one of those guys that likes gear and tackle. I can't have enough of both.
We all are.
Yeah, exactly. So when I look at the apparel that was on the market, I realized that it's really cool, but there's really no story behind it, or there's nothing about preserving the Sound in this case. And so that's why I decided to, let me start with shirts, and that's where Salty CT, kind of a play on words. So we're going to have also at the event a new line of apparel coming out. So that'll be up for people to see. Also our hats and our existing tees. So
that event again, it's at Not Norms. It's here, it's right around the corner from Veterans Park in East Norwalk, First Street and New Street. $25. What's the times again?
2 to 4:30.
And tickets are moving fairly quickly.
Yeah, the venue's not that large, which makes it, I think, kind of a nice place to host an event. So pre-sale ticket, we're recommending you buy tickets online. We'll have a few day of, but that's based on how many spots are left from the pre-sale. So go online, grab a ticket, and hope to see you there.
Thank you so much for what you're doing. Thank you for supporting Save the Sound, and we will see you again on March 31st down here for Fish the Salt.
Fantastic. Thanks, John.
Jason, thank you very much. We'll be back with more Yankee Fisherman presented by the Dock Shop right after this. Well, there's still a bite out on the water. Most anglers have decided to stow the gear for the winter. Just because Mother Nature isn't cooperating doesn't mean you can't see the latest models of all your favorite gear. With 2 convenient locations, it couldn't be easier to get your fix of summer. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Voted Best Gourmet to Go in Fairfield County, Palmer's extensive menu offers everything you'll need to make your next event easy and delicious. Whether you're hosting a small get-together or planning a large celebration, they've got you covered breakfast through dessert. Order online at palmersdarien.com or call 203-655-2077.
Yeah, Dad.
Kyle, I need you to update the financial statements.
I took care of that yesterday, Dad.
Mac, I need you to get those deals approved.
They're all done, Mr. Miller.
Jeff, I need you to order lunch for the meeting. They can't do a thing without me.
Right now, lease a 2017 Sentra S for only $97 a month.
I'm never going to retire.
UK Gourmet is the largest specialty grocer in the area, featuring food from England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. Over 80 teas to choose from and a brilliant assortment of biscuits to go with them. Over 70 cheeses from grass-fed cows, which makes a smashing difference in taste. The creamiest chocolate you'll ever taste using no artificial colors or preservatives. So say hooray for UK Gourmet, 78 Stony Hill Road in Bethel, or visit ukgourmet.us.
Welcome back to Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop, Thursday, March 15th. I want to thank Peter Aarrestad for sitting down with us. And we've got a lot more of that interview that we're going to get to in the coming weeks. We talked about the carp regulations, which there is now discussions going on about those because of bow fishing concerns. So that's being discussed again right on the heels of those being approved. We talked about the catfish regulations as well. Peter talked about the Riverton Fishing Derby and that short closure of a short stretch of the Farmington. And the Riverton Fishing Derby 2018 will be Saturday, April 14th. That's on the West Branch. It's sponsored by the Barkhamsted Historical Society and the town of Riverton. They will be stocking around 5 o'clock on Friday, April 13th. Saturday the 14th, pancake breakfast at 4 a.m., then the fishing, then the prizes. I plan to be up there this year. Should be a great day. Really looking forward to that and hope that the minor change to the TMA rules up there adds a little bit of pop back to that and they get to it being a really special place. No shows the next 2 weeks, so we are going to have to cover a lot of ground to promote events such as the Riverton Derby. Another one that's coming up that we did on last week's show, the Owen Strong fundraiser, that is coming up on March 25th, noon to 8 p.m. at the North Italian Home Club, 43 Thorpe Avenue in Meriden, $25 a ticket. Today is the last day that you can get the double raffle tickets if you buy your ticket, so that is Thursday, that's the last day you can do that. That is today. Thames Valley Trout Unlimited meeting Tuesday night. They will show the second chapter of Fly Fishing Yellowstone hatches. That is going to be 6 to 6:55. Then the general meeting, Bill Keister is going to talk about nymph fishing. Doors open at 6. That is up in Thames Valley's territory, and you can get more at tvtu.org. Same night, Nutmeg TU is going to have its meeting. Tim Berry from the DEEP is going to be coming down to talk about the state of trout fishing in Connecticut, the trout management plan. That is going to be at Port 5 in Bridgeport, 69 Brewster Street in Black Rock. 7 p.m. the doors open, no charge. These TU meetings are welcome, open to all. So go, you can pick up some fishing tips and learn about some conservation projects that are coming up. The Northeast Carp Conference, the second, last year's was the first in North America. That is coming up on April 21st. That is going to be at the Elks Club in Middletown from 10 to 6. $5 for Carp Anglers Group members, $10 for non-members. Prepaid ticket holders will receive 10 raffle tickets. carpanglersgroup.com for information on that. Went to that last year. I want to do a couple more carp events this year, do a couple of carp fishing segments, Want to get out and actually try it. Very interesting to see the gear and to see the techniques used at the conference that they had last year in Middletown. So I'm looking forward to hitting that again. And we have word from Housatonic River Outfitters that the black stonefly hatch is on. I know that's going to excite some of the fly anglers here. And we end saying goodbye to a legend and just from all accounts a nice guy. Lefty Cray died yesterday. He was inducted into the Catskill Fly Fishing Hall of Fame in 2001. Tight lines, Lefty.